Hi guys! I wanted to do a specific math lesson for you on regrouping when you're adding and subtracting because I've noticed that that is one of the most common mistake that you're making. 600 minus 187. Some of you are still doing this, 0 and 7. Okay, I'm gonna have 7 in my ones place, 0 and 8. Okay, I'm gonna have 8 in my tens place. 6 minus 1. All right, there's 5. 587. No. No. You can't do that. Now, I'm using this specific example because there's two things with regrouping that some of you are doing. This is one of those ways, and the other way is you're regrouping correctly, except your tens place is off. So first, I want you to realize that when you're doing this subtraction problem right here, what you have is 600. 600. And you're taking 187 out of there. All right, so I'm going to show you ways to successfully do this.
The first way I'm going to show you how to subtract this problem is the old-fashioned way with base 10 blocks. So first I'm going to set up my hundreds, tens, and ones columns, or my HTO chart. So now I need to add my 600 onto my chart. I'm going to do that by drawing 6 hundreds blocks, because that will give me the equivalent of 600. Now, as you can see on my chart, I don't have any ones, but yet I need to take away 7. I don't have any tens, but yet I need to take away 80. So, what I must do is regroup. I will start regrouping by taking away 100 and then adding 10 tens into my tens place, because 100 is equivalent to 10 tens. Okay, now I'm going to take away a 10 and add 10 ones onto my chart, because there are 10 ones in one 10. So now I have 5 hundreds, I have 9 tens, and I have 10 ones. Now I have to take away 187. I'm going to start with my ones place and take away 7 ones. That is going to leave me with 3 ones in my ones place. Now I'm going to check that off. Now I'm going to take away my 8 tens, which is taking away 80. And then what I'm left with is 1 10. So I will have 10 in my tens place. Alright, after I check the tens place off, now I'm going to take away my 100 from my 187. And that leaves me with 400. And I'll check it off. Now all I need to do is put all of my place values together. So 400 plus 10 plus 3 is going to give me 413. So my difference is 413. All right, I'm going to do that same problem with a different strategy.
I'm going to chunk it. I'm going to take chunks away at different times. And I'm going to do that using my place value understanding. So right now, I know I have 6 hundreds. I do not have any tens, and I do not have any ones. And I need to take away this. Okay, I'm going to write minus 187 here. I'm going to keep what I have as red. First, I'm going to take away my 100. So now I have minus 87. I'm going to take it away from here. So I have 500 minus 87. So I took care of that place value. Oh, what I should have done at the beginning though is taken the 187 and broke it down. 187. Okay? That way it's easier to check off. We've taken away the 100. And now remember, red is what we have. We have 500. So now I need to take away 80. I don't have any 10s. So Miss Porter, how am I going to do that? Well, you're going to have to take away from part of a 100. I'm going to take 100 away. If I take 100 away, I know I'm going to be left with 400. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down so I don't forget. But I still have this 100 here. What do I do with it? Now you can subtract minus 80 from the 100. If you have 100 and you take away 80, think parts and whole. What's missing? 20. 20. It's in red because remember, this is what we have. So $420. Now, we've taken away the 80 now. So now all we have left to subtract is 7. So just like we had to take away from a 100, we're going to have to do that same concept with a 10. So I'm going to take away a 10 from here, which is going to leave me with 410. This is the regrouping part. All I did was pull a 10 out of it, and then this is what I have left. All right, so I'm going to take this 10 and I'm going to subtract my 7 from it because I can take 7 away from 10. And I'm going to get 3 left over. I have 413. So that's my answer.
So I'm going to show you a different strategy. I'm going to use the open number line. Now I know I have 600. That's the number I'm going to be subtracting from. So I'm going to start by creating my number line. And I'm going to put 600 on this side of my number line because since I'm subtracting, I'm going to be going back. Now, I'm going to take the number I'm going to subtract from and I'm going to break it up into expanded form. So 100 plus 80 plus 7. Now I'm going to start by subtracting my 100. So I'm going to just make one open jump, subtracting 100, and that is going to get me to 500. And then I'm going to check it off so that I know I used it. Okay, next I'm going to subtract my 10s. I have 80. For those of you who might not be able to subtract 80 from 500, I'm going to break it down further for you. So first I'm going to subtract 50. And that's going to get me to 450. Now, I need to subtract 30 more so that I can make sure that I subtracted the whole 80. And that's going to get me to 420. Now I'm going to check it off so that I make sure I used it. Now all that's left is just to subtract the 7, which will bring me to 413. I'm going to check it off here, make sure that I subtracted everything. So 600 minus 187 equals 413.
To check our answer to make sure that we're right, we're going to add 413 plus 187. We should get 600. I'm going to use this example because I want to show you how it can be different when you're adding. Okay, so 413 plus 187. This is the way I like to do it because the place value is there and it makes sense. So I'm going to start with one number, and I'm going to say 410, 3, 413. All I did was decompose my number into expanded form. I'm going to do the same thing with 187. So 187. Okay? Now if I add 400s and 100, I get 500. If I add 10 plus 80, that gives me 90. If I add 3 plus 7, that gives me a nice 10. So now 500 plus 90 plus 10, I'm going to use my number talk strategies and make a nice 100 by combining 90 and 10. $500 plus 100, that's gonna get me 600. So, were we right when we subtracted? Yes, we were right. All right, I hope that maybe cleared up some misconceptions. I'll probably do some more examples at a later time. However, the regrouping, that was a big part of the errors I've seen from you guys. So I wanted to make sure that I went over that one more time. And those of you who are regrouping, but incorrect just in the tens place, this is the part right here where you are making your error. So when you're regrouping in the tens place, you're forgetting to actually take that 10 away before you subtract your ones place. You know that there's a 10 there. You know what you're doing. You know what you should do to be able to subtract 7. But what's happening is you're taking the 10 away in your head, but you didn't take it away on paper. So you're going to end up having an extra 10 in your tens place. I hope that helped. Bye, guys.